Thanks for watching. This is another episode of the Cessna 180 ownership saga. And I was kind of surprised how many views I got. I wasn't really, I guess it was just mental therapy I was trying to do for myself when I did the first video on how not to buy a Cessna without a pre-buy. But so I appreciate everyone's comments and the views that we got from it. So I figured I'd do another one on the Avionics upgrade. So May 19th, I was coming back from St. Louis, Missouri, and I got into some weather, and I think I have the ability to throw a clip of that weather in. And needless to say, I got a little overwhelmed. I had to divert, and being a low-time pilot, I realized right away that the system I have set up in the airplane was not conducive to multitasking very well. I have the old King radios, and then when I did the diversion, I had to pull up, Urbana Airport and get the ATIS in there, and I was leaving flight following over to tower, and the delay between tower or flight following and tower was trying to communicate with me, and I wasn't able to communicate back because I wasn't on the right frequency because I was still trying to figure that out and get there. Long story short, what should have been just a normal diversion turned into a high stress situation. And I'm sure there's a scientific aviation term for it, but I call it the waterfall of events. And basically, I got behind the airplane, and I landed. It was a safe landing. I was above my capabilities at 18 knot gusting crosswind. It was everything I could do, way more than what I was comfortable doing. So lesson I learned and walked away from, the airplane was fine. It was an uneventful landing. Well, I wouldn't say uneventful landing, but pretty close to, as much as I want to talk about as an uneventful landing. So I actually took my crosswind correction out. I wish I had video of it because I'm pretty sure that's what I did. I took my crosswind correction out as I was putting down my flaps on my rollout, and this thing peeled right, and I went between two taxi lights and taxied back up out of the grass back onto the runway. So, and I was probably going 15 miles an hour, and so lesson I learned there was never quit flying the airplane until it's tied down, especially on a tail wheel. So anyways, there I confessed. All right. So all that being said, I get back to the FBO and I'm like jello. I didn't want to fly for a while. I had to wait to a storm to kind of blow through that was coming in my path on my way home to Michigan. So as I'm sitting there, I started to think about, all right, where did I have that disconnection? And one thing that I've learned for me, being a low skill pilot, and that is, if I can prevent coming off the rails, man, I don't have to recover as much. So one of the things that I immediately started thinking about was the fact that it took me too long to go to my ForeFlight app, find the ATIS, find the tower frequency. They told me the tower frequency. In the process, I'm getting bumped around, and I wrote it down wrong, and that's where I really think everything started to go wrong. I wasn't in any IMC conditions or anything like that. I just needed to get diverted and set back on the ground before I got to that place. So what I ended up doing is I've expedited my Avionics upgrade. And what my plan is I'm going to go with the Avidyne 550. We have the Garmin 345 audio panel that has that playback, so if I do miss it, I can hit the playback button and write down the frequency that I should have had. Plus, the Avidyne has a lot of features, as you guys, I'm sure, all know about the location and the nearest airport. You can hit that, and everything pops up, your ATIS, everything, and you can just toggle that frequency in. You aren't dialing through and finding that frequency. So I really think that if I had proper avionics and was able to fluidly move through a diversion, I probably would have been in a lot better, clearer state of mind coming in to land, and I probably would have remembered my crosswind landing corrections the whole way down. That's my. It's not an excuse, but it's definitely something I'm looking at and saying I need to improve on. So one thing that I've learned with flying is, man, take your screw up seriously and go back and reverse engineer that all the way to the beginning and start there and start cleaning that up if you can. So one of the ways I'm cleaning that up is a complete avionics upgrade. So as I posted on my last video, I did do the AV30s, so you know, I like them. They kept me flying. We had a vacuum pump failure, and so we ended up going with the AV30s just to keep the airplane going because I wanted to keep flying and getting more time. Another lesson I learned was if you're going to do an avionics upgrade, you probably should take the time to really lay out your ultimate end goal. That way you're not repeating or replacing something that you bought because it doesn't communicate. So long story short, the AV30s were not able to communicate with an autopilot at this time. I know that's coming. The other thing the AV30 did was it would process very more than I thought it would. And so that's been something that's been an aggravation to me is the procession. So it might be something in my airplane that's causing that. I'm not 100% aware, 100% sure. So long story short is I'm going to leave one AV30 in. I'm taking the other AV30 out and lose that money. So just word to the wise, if you're going to do an avionics upgrade and you know that's where you want to end up, plan that way in advance. And I should have went right straight to the Aspen, and that's what I should have done from day one. So, but it was going to take longer to put it in. Long story short. So anyways, here we are. So I'm going to put an Aspen in, put a True Track in. I think it's called the Aero Cruise, I think is what it's called, 100 or whatever it's called now. And then Avidyne 550 with the Garmin 345, another Garmin radio as a backup radio. And then also I'm just going to go ahead and do the JPI, I think it's the 930 JPI, so the engine monitoring system. So I'll be down hopefully not more than a month. The other thing that was interesting is the process of finding what to do and what avionics is best. I already put the links in. We had that Stratus fail, the ADS-B, or the altitude indicator, I think is what it was. The altitude failed on the Stratus, so we went ahead and replaced that with the links. So the links will stay. The links is good, and then so I'll be working around that. So. Yeah, I've done a lot of research and did a lot of studying, and that's what I've come up with. And I'm able to get all the parts for everything. The other thing is there's a lot of issues now getting with parts for avionics, and you're on a waiting list. All the Garmin shops around me are definitely way backlogged, so I didn't want to wait for 8 months to get the airplane in. So that's what I ended up going with. So I'll show you guys the panel, show you the process, and I have some footage on the radio rails that are being wired. So hopefully we'll get this done, and I'll keep you guys up to date. So another lesson learned, plan your avionics upgrade way in advance and don't deviate from that plan. In my business, I should know better. That's what I tell my clients to do. Stick with your plan, have a good plan, and stick with it. And I broke the cardinal rule, and so now I'm going to eat at AV30 probably. So. All right, I'll give you a walk around the avionics. So here is the current panel that I have right now. I have the two AV30s, and then I'm going to go with one with an Aspen, and then over here this whole stack will change. So we'll put the Avidyne, and then the links will stay, and then the Garmin 345 will be up here. So we are cutting a whole new panel. All of this will go as well. All of this over here will actually go out, and that's all going to be upgraded with the JPI. So the other thing that with my episode that I got myself into coming back from St. Louis, the other thing I recognized is the urgency or the need for me to definitely pursue my IFR ticket. So I will definitely be pursuing that. That's going to be advanced. So everything when I bought this has got advanced now. So my budget got advanced, the avionics upgrade got advanced, my IFR rating is getting advanced, so everything is getting pushed forward. So airplane ownership, maybe I'm pushing too much, but it's definitely costing me more than what I budgeted for. My theory is I'm going to go ahead and finish what I need to do to feel comfortable, and then just perfect my skills as I have an upgraded airplane with an IFR certificate. So, yeah. But one thing that I definitely would recommend is you have to have a budget for sure, you know, but you can't be cheap, you know, and that the tendency is to definitely, you know, be budget conscious and be cheap. I believe in spending money wisely and frugally. On the other hand, when I recognize when I'm flying around, there's some items that are just going to be much better for me from a safety perspective, and especially with the type of flying I want to do. I want to do more cross country, more, you know, scheduled, you know, weekend away and then get back. I don't want to have to be on the ground waiting out weather because I'm VFR only, and I can't just file an IFR flight plan and get home. So I'm recognizing that, you know, the idea that, you know, and we see guys on YouTube and they show these nice flights and beautiful weather and doing fun camping and things like that. That's fun. That would be the ultimate. But where I live in Michigan, southeastern Michigan, it is difficult to find weather that's conducive to that all the time. So I find myself, you know, more frustrated waiting on weather, and, you know, I'd rather be able to, you know, go up to, we have a lot of low ceilings in Michigan. It just comes in for days at a time, and the ceiling stays low. You know, not thunderstorms or anything, but just low ceilings. So hopefully I can, you know, get around some of that with a IFR certificate. So, but anyways, and again, the one thing that I can't stress enough, and that is, you know, having a plan. And my business, what's frustrating to me, and the reason I'm doing these videos is because, man, we plan all of our expenses out. We help clients, you know, plan that stuff, and then I buy this, and I'm like, wow, I didn't have nearly a good enough plan, or I didn't think enough in front of the airplane while I was sitting on the ground and owning it, not just flying, but I mean, think in front of your airplane when you own it, and when you see things, you know, problems on the horizon, you might as well just go ahead and address them early. And that's the thing that I was just surprised how many of those I have encountered. So, and I suppose if you wanted to just fly around the patch and you know, just have fun and, you know, take it out on a beautiful day and then, you know, fly around in the pattern, that's one thing. But I really wanted to go places and experience things that I couldn't otherwise experience. So I want to move on. I want to get out there. So, anyways, I hope that helps. Again, make sure you think in front of the airplane before you ever buy it, and think about that avionics upgrade. It would be nice to buy an airplane with it already in there, because you're going to save a lot of money. I will never see my investment back, you know, as much as I'll have in these avionics. That is not helping it helps the price of the airplane, obviously, but it's not helping it dollar for dollar, that's for sure. So anyways, I'm comfortable with that, because I've done some research and said, you know, if I want to exchange and move up to a better platform, it's just, you know, I'm reopening that Pandora's box all over again with, you know, the pre-buy and the ownership, you know, all that. I'm not interested in doing that, so that's why I'm going to just go ahead and keep investing here, so, and see that through. So, all right, hope this helps everybody. Till next time, happy flying, and I will be sure to try to provide more updates as we get the avionics started. So, and then if you haven't seen the video on how not to buy an airplane, I'll try to put a link in it below here, so that way you guys can see that and see that story as well. So, all right, if you're looking for an airplane, good luck, and if I can be of any help at all, I'll tell you maybe what not to do. So.